Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. So today we have the second last TBR for the year, which is insane, and that is our November TBR. So as always, I have picked 6 books that I want to read this month, and then I also have my book club read. So let's just get straight into this because we've got a bit of an interesting mix. So one of the first books that I have picked to read in November is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. Now, this is a book that I have put off reading just because it was an option for my book club, and I just feel like it's not going to win this month either, so that's so fine. So I'm going to pick it up because I'm really intrigued by this book and this premise. This is essentially, from what I understand, Draco and Hermione fan fiction. But we focus on one of our main characters. I can't pronounce anyone's name. Orion. She's basically like a scientist and she's a healer. And then we have our other main character who is Osric. He's a member of an order of assassins, and I think he gets injured and she's the only person that can help him. And they're basically forced to work together to heal his illness and investigate the mysterious recurrence of a deadly pox. They find themselves ardently denying their attraction, which only fuels the heat between them. I've heard good things. I absolutely adore the special edition. Yes, I got a special edition without having read this book because I thought it was stunning, and I just feel like this book is very much up my alley, bit of a romantasy. So I'm excited to pick it up. I think it forms part of a duology, but I am kind of keen to read some of the other Draco Hermione fan fiction, except for Alchemized, because I read that when it was manacled and I absolutely loathed it, so I won't be picking that one up. But this is the first book I've decided to pick up this month. And then the second book is a newer book to my collection, and that is Holly by Adeline Grace. This is like book number 3.5 in the Belladonna trilogy. I wasn't aware that we were going to get another book. So it has Belladonna, Foxglove, and then also Wisteria. And I thought that when Wisteria came out, I feel like it was last year, or was it this year? I can't remember. Whenever it came out, I thought that that was the end of it and that was all we were going to get in this universe. And then lo and behold, Adeline Grace has brought out essentially a Christmas novel in this world. And I could just like not pick it up. First of all, adore the cover, but I don't actually know what this is about. This clearly isn't a novella unless it's like a whole heap of short stories, but I mean, oh my god, there's pictures. The font is freaking massive, which means it's gonna be really quick to get through it. But essentially, Blythe and Aris have settled into their magical manor and are hosting their family for the holidays. Blythe has set her heart on the perfect celebration, and Aris is determined to deliver and make sure that she gets this, if only he can figure out what to get her for Christmas. But gifts turn out to be the least of their worries when a group of volatile spirits threaten the festivities, keeping Cigna's hands full with the mystery of their deaths. It would be much easier with Silas at her side, but he's disappeared and seems to have secrets of his own. Now, Cigna and Aris must work together to uncover what happened to Wisteria's ghostly inhabitants and help them move on before it's too late, whilst keeping Blythe unaware that this is going on. And this is set after the events of Wisteria, so if you haven't read that, don't pick this up. But I'm just excited for a cutesy little Christmas read. I'm just vibing Christmas reads in November. Don't question it, it's what we're doing, but I'm excited to pick this one up. And then the third book that I want to read, As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third and final book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder. She is chunky. She is the thickest book out of all of them. Oh my god, she goes for like 570 pages, which honestly isn't that many, but it feels like a lot for this kind of book. This series is sort of like a murder mystery. In the first novel, our main character Pip decides to investigate the murder-suicide of Andy Bell and Sal Singh. She uncovers who the real murderers are and makes a podcast about it. And that's how the second book begins. And in this second book, her really good friend Connor, his older brother Jamie, goes missing. And in that book, we started to get some quite threatening messages towards Pip and her safety. Not that her safety's not been in question this entire series. And then this book just continues on from that. She is basically still quite haunted by her last investigation because it was messed up. And this time there is a new case to do with her because she has a stalker, one who keeps saying, who will look for you when you're the one who disappears? So Pip soon discovers a connection between her stalker, and a local serial killer, but the police refuse to act. As the dangerous game plays out, it's clear that if Pip doesn't find the answers, she's as good as dead. So that's why this book's going for nearly 600 pages. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't love the second book, Good Girl, Bad Blood, as much as I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I'm keen to get in and just sort of finish this series. I don't particularly want to be halfway through series. When the year ends, I'd like to finish off any book series on my shelves. And then book 4 is exciting. And it's exciting because it is the last book that I need to read on my 25 books to read in 2025 challenge. It is also the last book I need to read in order to finish my book series that I want to read in 2025. And that is Blood Marks by Tracy Deonn, and this is the second book in the Legend-Born cycle. If you saw my October TBR, I accidentally showed this book and said I wanted to read it, not realizing I'd picked up the sequel. The first book, Legend-Born, I'm currently in the middle of reading. For the most part, I am enjoying it. I just wish the font wasn't so small. It's quite interesting. Like, it's a mix of like King Arthur mythology and legend with what feels like the mortal instruments. They're the vibes that I'm getting from this book. So we follow our main character, Bree, who essentially, her mother gets killed in the first book. She then gets into an early college program she attends with her best friend, and she discovers this entire world of, I guess, the Legend-Borns and how her mother is potentially mixed up in it. I don't know how her mother is mixed up in it at this stage, but she's able to see these things called ether, which is these shiny things that they've got around the book cover. I'm still trying to work out what all of this means. I'm nearly halfway through the book, but for the most part, I am enjoying it. But yeah, this book just continues on. I don't know what's going to happen because I haven't finished the book, so I don't know what's going to go on in this story, except that we're going to just continue whatever happens at the end of the first book, and that's all I know, and it's fine. I don't own the third book, Oathbound. The reason why I don't own it is I would like to sit here and lie and say that it's because I finally developed some self-control when it comes to my book buying habits, but that would be a lie. The main reason I haven't picked it up is because when Oathbound was released, they released it in like the big paperback, meaning that it was essentially just pretend this is Oathbound. It was this tall. As you can see, I'm in the standard trade paperback, and I don't want to have a mismatched book series on my shelf. So we're going to have to wait for Oathbound to come out in the small format, and that'll determine whether I'm going to continue reading the series, essentially. But that's the fourth book that I want to read. And then the fifth book I have picked up is also a newer one to my TBR, and that is Soul Searching by Lila Sage. This is the first book in, I think, the Sweetwater Peak series. I don't know a whole lot about this series, except A, I didn't know this book was getting released, and B, I really enjoyed her Rebel Blue Ranch novels, so that's the main reason I've picked it up. Apparently people aren't liking this online, I saw somewhere. I haven't seen the negativity comments, but I've just seen that someone else said that there were some negative comments, which makes me a little sad. This was just an author buy. I don't know what this book is about, except that the main chick's got tattoos, and I kind of figured it was somewhat of a cowboy story, but looks like we've got ghosts. So I need to read this blurb. So we've got Colin doesn't want to go home. Sweetwater Peak, which is clearly their town in Wyoming, was supposed to be in her rearview mirror. But when she finds out a developer is trying to buy her parents' antique shop, she doesn't have a choice. So they don't know that she's lost her job and is out of money, or that the ghosts that have always been her companions have recently gone silent. Okay, she sees ghosts, that's concerning. Then we have Brady. He decided to uproot his life and move to Sweetwater Peak. He just needed a change of pace, that's what he keeps telling himself. He lets Colin stay in his spare room, but doesn't realize that she constantly talks to thin air, or that she looks like that. Looks like it's a temporary arrangement, but they're gonna fall in love. Maybe this one should have picked up in October, but that's fine. I'm interested to see what I think about it. Kind of low-key excited that there might not be any cowboys, because cowboy romances aren't really my thing, and that is so fine. But I'm excited to give it a read. Her books are generally, I find her writing style really easy to engage with and read. Her characters I usually quite enjoy. So excited to give this interesting potential paranormal romance a go. And then the sixth and final book that I am reading is The Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore. This is book 5 in the Dream Harbor series by her. As always, please see the sparkly cover. It's also giving Christmas, so I have another Christmas novel. The main reason that I'm reading this is because A, it's just been released, but B, I need to start finalizing my Lover reading challenge. And for the song Lover itself, the prompt is read a book with fairy lights on the cover. Do you see the fairy lights? They're the sparkly bits. This one I'm actually kind of excited about because we are finally getting Mac and Annie's story. We have known about Mac and Annie and their little angst, their little hate for one another, their enemies to lovers possibility since the first goddamn book. Okay, we've been waiting ages for this. I thought this was going to be like the third story. No, we've gone to random other characters before coming to these characters. So low-key mad, but okay with it because we're finally getting it. But in this one, we focus on obviously Annie. She is the owner of the beloved Gingerbread Bakery. I can't wait for all the baked goods. She is currently locked in a battle of wills with the irritatingly upbeat bar owner down the street, who is Mac. Yes, we have had this angst, this hate between them since book 1. So Mac has everything he wants except the girl of his dreams. That's Annie. It's easier to argue with her than get her to talk to him. But with Jeannie and Logan's wedding coming up, so it means that obviously Mac and Annie are going to have to spend a lot more time together, I would say, because Annie's probably going to make the wedding cake, I would say, and all of the baked goods. Obviously really good friends with Jeannie, so she's going to be involved in the wedding. I feel like Mac is also good friends with Logan. Also him owning the local bar, prob's going to be supplying the alcohol. So they are going to be involved as potentially both being in the wedding party, or at least guests and one of them being in the wedding party, but also potentially being vendors for this wedding. So we are going to get our lovers, enemies to lovers romance, and I am so excited to give this one a read and just see what I think about it. Did just want to say that these books I generally don't rate higher than 4 stars. I'm excited about them, I enjoy them, but there's definitely better books out there. They're just really good, fun, cute palette cleansers. But yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a read, but also get closer to finishing that Lover reading challenge. So they are all of the 6 books that I want to read, and then I don't know which book we're going to read for book club, but it's either going to be The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, but when I last checked it, it had 4 votes, and the book that was in the lead was The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, but I haven't picked it up because I'm waiting to see if that one does win. It's got 8 votes, but that's probably the book we're going to read. But anyway, guys, they are the, I guess, 7 books that I really would like to read in the month of November. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for the October reading wrap up. Bye.